And there you have it. Aftermath, excuse me, of a nuclear explosion. As you can see, this radiates out in a really crazy pattern, digging into the sand and dirt and taking out portions of trees. And this is a really deep hole. I mean, this is not something to sneeze at either. It completely eradicates any blocks that were around it within a certain radius, um, which is why when we go to build our containment area, we're going to be using obsidian, due in part to the fact that it is completely blast proof. Oh, lava. I'm looking for some lava. So with this destruction in mind, we want to take special measures to make sure that our reactor stays as stable as possible. And in order to do so, we need to cool it. And the best way to cool it, of course, is with water. So the first thing you're going to want to have here is probably a stack and a half of obsidian. And what I like to do is make a 5x5 platform, like so. And make it 3 high on the walls. So try not to make too many mistakes doing this, because unless you have the mining drill, you won't be able to move this very quickly. So here's the third layer. And what you should end up with is this 3x3x3 hollow housing area. So we're going to just jump down in here. Now the minimum amount of water that you can cover a generator with is 1 layer, and that's going to cover 4 sides. The bottom's going to rest on a solid piece, and then you're going to have the wire attached to another portion of it. So why go for the minimum when you know you can hit the maximum? So we're going to work on making this an infinite pool by using our water buckets here. And it should take about 4 buckets for the first one here, like so. And we'll fill our buckets back up. And then our generator is actually going to set here in the center. So this cobblestone is going to be our generator to start, just as a placeholder, so we can see what we're doing. So our wiring would go out like that. And if you wanted to, you could fill in these 4 corners with water if you wanted to, and just make it smooth looking. But that would be your basic containment for a nuclear reactor, and you put some steps up on the side so you can reach down and you're able to click the generator from here. So let me warp back to our crafting area real quick. And you're going to need a couple things before you can build a nuclear reactor. First of all, you're going to need to have glowstone, and you're going to need 2 pieces of it. So either you're going to need to have been to the nether and get it through breaking glowstone blocks there, or you're going to have to use the survival multiplayer crafting recipe for glowstone, which is red dust and gold. And you can find that on the original page for the IndustrialCraft mod itself on the forums. But another thing you're going to need is bronze, which I don't know if I covered or not, but I'll go over the recipe here. You're going to need 6 pieces of bronze. And the way you make bronze is you mix tin and copper dust in a 3-to-1. Oops. Got that backwards. There we go. 3-to-1, tin to copper. And that gives us copper dust. And we smelt that, and it turns into bronze, or excuse me, the bronze dust smelts into bronze bars. You'll need 2 electric circuits. And you will also need a generator. Now with this bronze, we're going to make advanced alloy. Now advanced alloy, take your bronze, pardon my web window call out there, 3 pieces of refined iron and 3 pieces of tin, and that gives us 2 metal blocks. So we're going to need to make 2 crafting recipes worth of this. Find where there it is. But you're going to say, well, wait a minute, that's not what you said we needed. Well, there's another step yet to this. We head over here to the compressor. Throw 2 in there and 2 in here. And these compressors will turn these metal blocks into advanced alloy for us. And there it's complete. 4 pieces of advanced alloy. Now to make our generator. Take your glowstone dust, like so. Your generator, your regular generator, like so. Your 4 pieces of advanced alloy, and your 2 electric circuits. Gives us 1 nuclear reactor. And it's even got the radiation symbol on top. Now, while you're looking at this, you can put all sorts of things in here, and all sorts of things won't work. The only thing that a reactor will work with are re-batteries to charge those, or uranium. And let me get some uranium here real quick. And here's what a thing of uranium ore looks like in the wild. You'll find that anywhere underground, from sea level all the way down to bedrock. So it is rather rare. If you see it, grab an iron pick and just break it up and pop, get a little piece of uranium. So how does uranium work? Well, take raw uranium and put it in the top slot, which will begin the reactor working. This process does not produce energy, but it doesn't take any energy to work. As it's processing the raw uranium, it'll fill this charging bar as if you were charging a battery, and when it finishes out, you'll receive 4 uranium fuel rods over in the charged slot. Now this process, as well as using the fuel rods in the bottom slot to actually produce EU, requires your reactor to be cooled. Now, be warned, if you do this without cooling your reactor, and I know some people will try it and have tried it, you will blow up your house. It will be gone, and it will resemble that hole in the ground that I showed you at the beginning of this portion of the video. So I'm going to fast forward this and get my uranium rods and show you a nuclear reactor in action. And here we have our uranium in a reactor. It'll light it up, and here you see the bar beginning to fill. Now this does take quite a while for this to chew through the raw uranium and work it into usable fuel rods. So if you have anything else that you need to do while this would be working through and producing your rods, it'd be a good time to go do so. This is our uranium fuel ingots, and for each one of these that you chuck in the bottom here and wire, which we can't do because this is underwater, for each of these that you burn in the reactor, you get 40,000 units of energy. So one uranium blob there can actually give you 160,000 units of energy. It's very, very potent and concentrated. And then you would wire that up to an MFE and keep an eye on it, keeping it away from anything important. Alright, so as far as high voltage is concerned, as you place wiring down on the ground in a line. The further you go away from a MFE or a generator on the line, the more EU you're going to lose. There's a set distance for every point of EU that you'll lose, and it's the same down the whole line. And what high voltage transformers allow you to do is run current over extreme distances. And by extreme distances, I do mean extreme. We're talking miles, without you having to worry about losing enough current to make what comes out the other end completely useless for your uses. So to hook these up, first of all, you're going to have your MFE generators set up, and to the output of the MFE, you're going to have a high voltage block. Now this block acts like an MFE in that it accepts current on the four sides and outputs it on the top and the bottom. Now your first one, you're going to output from the top. Notice the three dots on the top. That designates it as high voltage. And you can see here that the cable is glowing with that redstone dust effect. That shows that the cable is charged with high volts of EU, 2000 to be precise. Then once you get to where you need to go, you place a second second high voltage transformer, making sure to attach it to one of the four sides, and then you will wire it to your machines or another MFE from the bottom, the low side, which only, if you look at it, has only one dot, which shows you that it is safe to do so. Strap on an MFE here, and you'll see that this comes across in packets of 2000. Very effective for long distance transmission, and also for charging Tesla coils, which we'll cover in a future video. If you're using the current version of IndustrialCraft, please be mindful. This wire is dangerous. It will catch trees on fire, it will catch animals on fire, it will catch you on fire. That's intended. Use it for an electrical fence if you would like. It's actually been suggested. Just don't put wooden fencing on top of it, because they will catch fire, obviously. Use stone or something. Put the wire on the bottom and then whatever else on top so they can't jump over it and they just jump into it. Or better yet, run water towards it so they can't get away from it. Doesn't hurt it. So there you have it, high voltage cable. And this would be considered an ineffective use of high voltage, just to be clear. It truly is just for long distances. Like if I was going to run stuff from my windmill generator platform down to my tower, that would constitute a good use of high voltage. So thank you for watching. I know the high voltage portion was a little bit rushed, but we're kind of short on time here and I didn't want to put out a third video. Upcoming vids will be posted on my subscription page, and just keep an eye out, and thanks for watching. Appreciate the comments, folks, and happy hunting out there in IndustrialCraft.